If Jesus Christ were walking the earth today, I think that many would agree that he would not be a member of a political party. He would be an independent. Yet the same people that would agree with that, they tend to remain along the party lines anyway. The Old and the New Testament tribes have morphed, and they're now Democrat, they're Republican, they're Libertarian, they're Tea Party, they're Green Party, they're Socialist, they're Communist, and so on. In the church, we can also see where the tribes have morphed into other things. The tribes have morphed into Presbyterian, Catholic, Baptist, Protestant, Lutheran, Charismatic, Methodist, and Episcopalian, and on and on. But if we take it back to politics, I think that we would all agree that within America, it is the Democrats and the Republicans that own the political stage. The problem is that Republicans and Democrats are tailor-made to resist each other. They will never get along, and they will rarely ever agree. And in some ways that's good, and in other ways that's bad. There is nothing that you can do to put Democrats and Republicans on the same page. If you consider yourself a Democrat, then I would encourage you to think Democrat light. If you consider yourself a Republican, then I would encourage you to think Republican light. But I would encourage you to think along the lines of a third element, another team of officials that I think that we should all be a part of. These officials are in the game, but they are not of the game. They are in the middle of the chaos, but they do not belong to the chaos. It is not the job of these officials to listen to the roar of the crowd, be it the boos or the cheers, nor to the factions that are against each other. These officials belong to another kingdom, and they make their decisions from the book that they've received from the kingdom that they represent. It is our job as soldiers of Christ to bring in the light, representing a different king in another kingdom. So let's represent the king. Christians should serve as a moral compass for the nation, something that is sometimes hard to do if the Christians allow themselves to become the property of one political party or subservient to one set of special interests. Like the court prophets of Ahab, which you can read about in 1 Kings and in 2 Chronicles. We lose our credibility and doom our listeners if we begin to parrot and echo a party's line rather than the ethical and moral principles that we have gleaned from the scriptures. Christian citizens serve their nation best when they can both love what is best about our nation and also insist on the freedom to hold our leaders and ourselves accountable when necessary. The Bible does tell us that God ordained human government. You can read all about that in Romans chapter 13. In that exact same chapter, it also tells us that we are subject to the government that we are in. It seems odd to think that God would ordain government and then want Christians to stay out of it. It doesn't make any sense. Within our American culture, we don't live in a totalitarian regime. We live in a culture that is constructed to involve all of its citizens, Christians and non-Christians alike. In that pluralist culture that we talked about, the freedom to believe or not believe or to disbelieve is made there. But what is happening is our pluralist society is starting to morph into a monopoly. We're forming a monopoly. One that is starting to refuse to give you and me the freedom to express our beliefs. This is where we need to change. And this change is not going to happen if Christians are not engaged or not involved in influencing our culture. It's possible, let's be honest, that you can be political and not truly spiritual. But it is not possible to be genuinely spiritual and not be political, or not to touch politics anyway. Example is life and death decisions and abortion are moral issues, but they are now ingrained into the political system and into the political arena. Therefore, politics to some degree intercept every single person. Politics is the art of us living together in a community. The current political climate is working diligently to politicize and to appropriate yours and my spirituality and yours and my spiritual beliefs. It was Plato that said that the penalty that men pay for not being interested in politics is to be governed by those that are worse than themselves.